Introducing Microsoft Surface Studio. Microsoft Surface Studio PC design, features and spec. Microsoft showcases high-end iMac competitor at New York Windows event. It looks just as Microsoft will dispatch its first PossessMark desktop PC today at its Windows 10 occasion in New York. This is what we think about the Surface PC discharge date, cost and specs. Furthermore, how to watch the Surface PC live stream. Microsoft held an occasion in New York today specifying not just the up-and-coming creators redesign for Windows 10, additionally to declare the fresh out of the plastic new Microsoft Surface Studio, an out-and-out Surface PC. Here's all that we know so far about the up-and-coming Surface Studio PC, including evaluating, accessibility, outline, elements and spec. Microsoft Surface Studio estimating and discharge date. How much will the Surface Studio cost, and when will it be discharged in the UK? Anyway, what amount does the Microsoft Surface Studio, and all the more imperatively, when will it be accessible to purchase in the UK? The Surface Studio unquestionably isn't shoddy, beginning at $3,000 with no affirmed UK valuing, and that is just for the passage level model. The top-of-the-line display with 32GB RAM that we detail underneath will set clients back over $1,000 more at $4,199, once more, with no UK estimating declared. It's not all awful however, as all Surface Studio buys accompany a free Surface Dial. In any case, shouldn't something be said about accessibility? It was declared at the occasion that the Microsoft Surface Studio will be accessible to purchase in restricted numbers by Christmas 2016, however we envision it won't be promptly accessible until mid-2017. When we get more data about UK valuing and a strong discharge date, we'll redesign this area so ensure you inquire in the coming days. Microsoft Surface Studio outline. What does the Surface Studio resemble? There are unquestionably similitudes between the Microsoft Surface Studio PC and Apple's and with no reservations one iMac, yet Microsoft's putting forth is sufficiently diverse to produce its own particular place in the market. However, not as all as it appears, as in spite of seeming as though the Surface Studio isn't really an and with no reservations one, all the internals are included in a little aluminum box that sits underneath the show. We've not got measurements for the container at the season of composing. Yet it's truly smooth and tactful. We didn't see it before it was indicated out us. The principal part of this Surface Studio PC setup is the show, a 28-pixel Sense show which is as of now the most slender LCD available, measuring in at 12.5 mm. It's housed inside an aluminum unibody, and is suspended in mid-air by chrome-styled depends on the back of the show. The zero-gravity pivots give different survey points to the show, and can be effectively balanced by gently squeezing the show. It can give points of as meager as 20 degrees. Permitting you to draw specifically onto the show serenely normally, because of the touchscreen way of the screen. There are 4 feet on the base of the screen that are intended to make it simple to turn, and impart what's on your show to people around you. It's the little outline components of the Surface Studio that make it look like such an awesome PC. Microsoft Surface Studio components and spec. What does the Surface Studio include? All in all, what does the Microsoft Surface Studio include? The primary component is obviously the 28-pixel Sense show which, as said above, is the most slender LCD available right now at just 12.5 mm, however that is just the starting. Notwithstanding including a fantastically thin show, it highlights 13.5 pixels, giving it a pixel thickness of 192 pixels. This takes into account what Microsoft calls true scale, giving 1-to-1 size match of records in Microsoft Word, for instance, as 1 in on screen as 1 in, all things considered. Presently the print preview will really be in existence measure print C on screen. We envision there will be different utilizations for the element, yet these were not illustrated amid the declaration occasion. The 28-inch show is likewise touchscreen empowered, permitting clients to draw specifically on screen utilizing the Surface Pen, or tap and swipe their way around the touchscreen upheld Windows 10. In any case, it's the presentation of the Surface Dial that wowed us. The dial can be set on screen and will give relevant controls, contingent upon what you're doing. Utilizing Photoshop. The dial can be utilized as a shading swatch, permitting you to adjust the shading you need to utilize. It highlights spiral information and haptic input, obscuring the lines between the physical and virtual universes, and will acquire abilities once engineers begin including support for it. Past the show, what does the Surface Studio offer? Be readied, as it's an outright powerhouse of a PC. Why? It highlights a quad-center Intel i7 processor alongside a 2TB rapid hard drive and up to 32GB of DDR4 RAM at the top end. It begins at 8GB. It's intended for makers, and must have the capacity to control the most processor and representation-hungry applications. Alongside the i7 processor, Microsoft has incorporated a 4GB GTX 980M representation card at the top end. Passage modules highlight a 2GB GTX 965M, an unusual decision considering the new era of NVIDIA illustrations cards are promptly available, notwithstanding for tablets. Control utilization is entirely noteworthy considering the innovation included, at just 270 watts. All that innovation will probably warm up the Surface Studio, and that is the reason Microsoft has included 3 fans with a propelled cooling framework, which ought to keep the PC cool and at ideal working temperatures. It additionally highlights an inherent Xbox One controller dongle, permitting clients to remotely play recreations with a Xbox One controller without forking out for some other extras. Microsoft hasn't overlooked sound with the Surface Studio either, as the show highlights worked in 2.1 speakers fueled by Dolby Audio Premium, which ought to furnish clients with excellent sound, despite the fact that we'll need to hold up until we see it face to face to say so without a doubt. Investigate the live blog from the occasion underneath to see our responses to the underlying declaration. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel.